ballpark and ballpark development in the Crossroads. And we very much look forward to that, and the way to finance this with this extension of the 3/8 cent sales tax, merely an extension of the existing tax, is an excellent way for those tax funds to be used in the future. To extend that tax and put that tax toward a new ballpark for the Kansas City Royals, a renovated stadium for the Chiefs, we believe is a much better use of that capital than to continue to put it into existing stadiums just from a repair and maintenance perspective. Both stadiums, 50 plus years old, by doing the projects that we both put forth, we think are very good for both teams and moreover for the community. From an economic standpoint, from the momentum that we have seen in Kansas City toward the betterment of Kansas City with all the events that we're attracting, World Cup, the new airport, and so forth, we think this is additive to that and very much look forward to it. We're working hard and appreciate your attention and happy to take questions and answers in a bit.
Thanks, Chris. I'll reiterate some of that and then add a little bit. I think we're very excited about where we are, and we're very excited about what this means for the future. This is a very complex and very many layers in the negotiation, groups that we're dealing with, people we're dealing with, two very different projects. So hopefully we can simplify for our voters and taxpayers and fans exactly what it is we're doing. And really what we're doing is we're negotiating a better deal for Jackson County that keeps two teams in this county, in this city, in this region, and provides a brand new stadium and a really cool renovated stadium. I think there's a lot of confusion about where we are and what the status is, and April 2nd is coming up very quickly. Again, to try to simplify it, from our standpoint, we have offered a better CBA than the existing proposal, which is in the hands of the county, than we had in 06. We are offering a better lease that's in the hands of our landlords, the Sports Authority, than we did in 06. And we're offering a renovated stadium that's going to keep this iconic venue up and existing and able to host the biggest events in the world for the next 25 to 40 years. It's that simple. And I know there's a lot of noise, I know there's a lot of questions, I know there's a lot of confusing very angles to this, but the reality is it's that simple. This keeps two great franchises in this region, and it does it in a way that actually is better for Jackson County. I think with that, we'll open it up to questions.
Couple questions? Ryan?
Yeah, so Ryan Hennessy, KCTV5. The businesses I've talked to in the Crossroads sort of say they're waiting to hear when are you going to finish up kind of talking to all the businesses in the Crossroads kind of about their future if the vote does pass in April?
Yeah, we have visited with nearly all of the owners of those properties within the footprint where our project would go, and have had very positive conversations with them. Everyone understands this is a great location for this ballpark and this ballpark district. The conversations with the tenants that occupy these buildings within this footprint, some are owner occupied, some have tenants. We have begun talking to all the tenants, and I would expect we will have talked to all of them by the end of this week. Look, we have been making, I think, good progress, having good conversations with those property owners, with those tenants, and with the Crossroads Community Association itself. And we're excited to continue those conversations and believe that we will be additive to all that is at Crossroads. We love that part of town, obviously, and believe we'll be additive. And what we have said to them all is we want to be good neighbors, and that means a lot to us, and we will hold our word on that from the standpoint of helping any tenant that's displaced here, that there will be, that will help them move. We'll make up for any tenant improvements that they may have put in themselves. We'll make sure that all of those things are covered in our discussions with them. When we say we want to be good neighbors, we're honest about that, and those discussions so far have been very good.
When you say that about the state of relations and negotiations, are you at a point where you've got any acquisitions in hand, and is that an urgent urgent matter before the election, before the April 2nd?
We have to work these one by one. There's various property owners in there. We're working on those. We're negotiating through transactions as we speak. So we will get through as many as possible by election, but believe me, we're at it every day.
Is there?
What's in the CBA?
Pardon?
What's in the CBA? It's better. What's better in the CBA this time
Yeah,
around?
I'll speak to that because, as I mentioned, everything gets really complicated and everything gets really confusing, right? There are two different projects in two different areas of the city with two different developments around them. So the CBAs are going to be different. The two CBAs are going to be different. There are some things we're working very closely on together. So that has to happen as well. What's in the CBA is a way for us to do more for this community and support what's important to this community. When I talk about the 2006 CBA, Fair Trade Agreement, we looked at that and said, how can we make that better and how can we give more? And I can say almost across the board, we've done that. So when you think about MBWA, WD, when you think about our training programs, where not only can we train more people, but actually give them lifelong careers and create wealth, we're going to do more of that. So the things that we look at in a CBA, we've actually improved on for most states.
And I would agree with that from a Royal standpoint as well. And the other thing I would add is that, you know, we use the airport as an original template working through this, and the CBA that will end up here will be better than that from the airport that occurred with the airport. And we're happy to do it, and we're moving forward with that. It'll be very positive.
Okay, Jonathan and then Charlie, I think, and then I think we'll be done.
Oh, no.
Sorry, you're third.
Mark, do you regret the scripted remarks you made about whether or not players would be advertisements for the Vote Yes campaign when you talked to a gap of reporters after the press conference 2 Wednesdays ago? I just thought it was interesting that he made those remarks, and then Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Bobby Wood Jr. and Salvador Perez are all in the ad.
Yeah, the question was, do you expect for your players to be in ads and create ads for you? And the answer was no. And I said at the time that we have had players reach out to us and ask us how they can help. And I also said that we're talking about scripted ads. So when Patrick goes and records the T-Mobile ad that you saw, that's about a day and a half of work in our indoor to create that ad. And that's what you asked for, Patrick. What we did was took advantage of the opportunity during the Super Bowl promotion to have them record one lines. That's very different than a scripted spot, and it's very different from I thought. So I think it's a little bit of the distraction here. We're talking about an ad that Patrick and Kelsey and all the people who've been part of this, they're proud to be part of this, and they're proud to support what we're doing. And yes, we're going to use it in that way. Are we going to sit and ask Patrick to negotiate deals with us? No. Are we going to sit and ask Patrick to spend a day and a half recording a spot for us?
Okay, Charlie, and then final questions up front.
Right, so with this listening session, what do you guys hope to accomplish? We've heard from some folks who think this is kind of just lip service. You're just here to kind of keep saying what you've been saying and may not take any feedback back with you.
Yeah, I would say this. We've done a ton of these, and we've done a lot of work on this. We've talked to a lot of different people. In addition to, I think it's 20,000 doors we've knocked on. We've talked to people in their homes and in their neighborhoods, in their places of business. We have sat on a number of different panels and talked to a lot of people. Every single time we've done that, we've learned a little bit, and I think the people in the room have learned a lot. Because it is confusing, and it is complicated. Let's just take, for example, if you were to go into the voting booth and look at the ballot language, if I were to read that, I'd be confused, right? I've done it. I've been in other ballots where I've said, I have absolutely no idea what this means. I'm not sure which way to vote. So we're trying to simplify that. The reality is, that ballot says is doing this keeps two teams in your county, in your region, and it does it on a better deal than the county currently has. We've actually committed to put millions and millions of dollars into this marketplace, to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into a county-owned asset and develop another county-owned asset. And for that, we're actually asking for less.
Yeah, I echo that 100%. We've been at this a long time from the Royal standpoint, and that's fine because we want to do this the right way. But we've been at this a long time. We think, struck a very good deal for the county. and for the teams, and are ready to get underway with this. Want it to be a successful vote, obviously, and working hard at that and continuing to put the work in to do that. So,
Final question up front?
Yeah, even the logo here mentions keep the Chiefs and Royals in Jackson County. Are these teams leaving if this does not pass?
I'll take a swing at that, and you can speak of the Royals. We've been very, very consistent on that point, and I know everybody wants us to say what they want us to say. The reality is, we've been a great partner for this region for a very long time. We've committed hundreds of millions of dollars to that asset that is Arrowhead Stadium, which is a county next. We are committing to do that for another 25 years and commit even more hundreds of millions of dollars in the maintenance and upkeep. In addition to that, we as an organization and the Hunt family are going to put the biggest investment they've ever made on top of that to renovate it and make it one of the best buildings ever for the next 25 years. And for that, we're asking for, on April 2nd, for our Jackson County voters, our fans, taxpayers, to see if they agree with that. And if they don't, we'll be in a situation where we're going to look at other options. It's just a reality. They don't believe this deal, which is a better deal than they currently have, is good enough. That it leaves us in a situation where we have to look at other options.
yeah, and again, we've been at this for a while, and we've gotten ourselves to this point. This is the time to do this. The last two times that the leases were restructured, there were 7 years left and 9 years left before those leases expired. We're at 6 now. And it's time to do this. These things take time. Once we get a yes vote to get them planned, constructed, they take time, and that puts us out there a ways. So the time is now to do this. It keeps both teams here, and in a very positive way. And what we're doing is we're just asking that tax be extended to ensure the future of both these franchises in this county, in this city, for a long time. And that's what we're asking. And we think we've got great projects that will do just that for the benefit of the region.
And then you mentioned just the negotiations with the Crossroads. Is eminent domain in play if you're not able to reach a deal with any of these business owners?
You know, we're going to work every day to strike a fair transaction with each and every one of those property owners and all the tenants. They are dedicated to the Crossroads. We recognize that, and we want to be a part of it. We love what they have there. We think we're additive. We're going to put ourselves in the right position to be additive there, and we're going to deal with each of those property owners, tenants, one-on-one, and get to a transaction that's fair for both.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.